Awesome. So thank you for being here again. My name is Alexis Gracer, and I'm the Leadership Development Coordinator and Student Involvement. And this is a presentation on leadership. And I know that leadership is a general term, so we're going to get into a theoretical framework for leadership and how you can apply that to your own life. So just an agenda for our session today. We're gonna do some introductions. We have a short little icebreaker to participate in. I'll go through an introduction to leadership and the social change model of leadership development. We'll talk a little bit about values, which is one of the tenets of the social change model, and then we'll do a values-based activity if we have time to do so at the end. Either way, you're gonna walk out of here with that values-based activity to complete on your own, and that will be posted as well for folks who are watching the recording afterwards. So this is being recorded, just so you all know, and will be posted later for you to look back on. So for our icebreaker, we could just use the reaction button in the Zoom. So if you could do a thumbs up for the first option and thumbs down for the second option, we're gonna do a game of this or that. So we're gonna start off easy and fun and kind of just ask some lighthearted questions, and then we'll move into some more leadership topics. So again, thumbs up for the first option, and then maybe a thumbs down for the second option. So this or that. Thumbs up for Netflix, thumbs down for Hulu. Okay, we got a Netflix fan out there. 2 Netflix fans. I'm also a fan of Netflix myself. Definitely prefer the no ad experience over Hulu. Cooking or being cooked for. This might be a preference, or maybe you're skilled at cooking, or you burn everything you put on the stove. That's okay too. So thumbs up for cooking or thumbs down for being cooked for. Being cooked for, yeah, that's always very nice. Yep, definitely. I love being cooked for, but I also love to, get in the kitchen myself. So souvenirs, thumbs up for souvenirs or thumbs down for postcards. Would you rather have a souvenir from someone's trip or have them send you a postcard? Yeah, postcard. Okay, we got one of each. That's good. I like getting a postcard, but I also appreciate a little trinket here and there. Would you rather get a raise or a bonus? So thumbs up for raise, thumbs down for a bonus.
What's the difference between a raise and a bonus?
So a raise would happen every paycheck. So your salary would increase. A bonus would usually be a one-time payment made to you kind of on a random basis, or sometimes different companies do like a holiday bonus where they add a little bit of extra cash into your, December check or January check, something like that. Okay, so we've got a raise. Definitely, yeah, I like to see that steady cash flow. Would you rather forget your pencil or forget your notebook? Thumbs up if you'd rather forget your pencil, or if you had to forget your notebook, thumbs down for that. Notebook. Pencil, yeah, definitely. It's easier to find a writing utensil than it is to keep track of a loose leaf sheet of paper with your notes or whatever on it. All right, do you prefer Zoom or in person? Thumbs up for Zoom, thumbs down for in person. Definitely depends on the activity, what's going on. Sometimes it's better to, sit in your home and engage with content from afar. If you're interacting with folks, sometimes it's better in person, or the amount of people might influence how comfortable you are in that type of setting. All right, so now we're going to get into some more leadership topics. Thumbs up for leader, thumbs down for follower. There's no wrong answer here. You don't have to pick leader just because you're at a leadership summit or a leadership retreat. Leaders do need followers too, so that's all right. Thumbs up for leader, thumbs down for follower. Leader, love to see it. Are there different scenarios where we're leaders in some spaces and followers in others? Definitely could go both ways. All right. Would you rather start late or leave early? Start late or leave early? Sometimes it is better to be, yeah, definitely. Going back to that last one. Leave early, yeah. Have some of your day back. For folks that like to sleep in, maybe starting late. All right, one of our last questions, growth or security? So thumbs up for growth, thumbs down for security. Growth, I like to see that. All right, and our last question, let's do loose guidelines or clear directions. So thumbs up if you like just a general guideline for how your work should be done and you like to be left to do your own thing, or thumbs down if you like very clear directions. I'm sorry, I missed that question in the chat. So security, feeling safe, being inside of your comfort zone, maybe not learning or growing as much as you can, but that's what I mean by security. And thank you for answering the next question of loose guidelines or clear directions. We can operate in both ways. You can have a little bit of a mix of both. So I'm glad to see what works for both of you. Thank you for participating in this little icebreaker activity. But we're going to move on now to the social change model of leadership development. So what is leadership anyway? It's a big term. It encompasses a lot of different traits and attributes and different ideas. But according to the social change model for leadership development, leadership is a lot of different things. So leadership is socially responsible and concerned with affecting change on behalf of others and society. Leadership is collaborative. So you should be working with people who are different from you, who come from different backgrounds, have different ideas, but also people who think similarly to you. Just involving others in the process so you have a variety of ideas and perspectives. This is something that we really believe in student involvement, that leadership is a process, not necessarily a position. There's a lot that goes into leadership, a lot of different skills, and you don't have to hold a title like a president of a recognized student organization or a leader within a fraternity or sorority. You could be a leader within your family. You could take care of your family members. You could address a need in your community and be a leader in that way without that position. But that also goes the other way. When you do have a position, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are a leader or that you have the skills to be an effective leader. So that's why we have leadership development programs for students who do have those titles and want to learn more, but also students who don't have titles and are starting their leadership journey. Leadership should be inclusive and accessible to all people. It should be values-based, so surrounding your core values and what's important to you. That also means that you should learn the core values of the folks that you are leading and that you're leading with. So you have a good understanding of each other and what drives you to do what you do. And finally, community involvement and service is a powerful vehicle for leadership. Addressing community needs is a good way to be a leader and to, showcase those skills that you have learned through your involvement. If you have any questions throughout the duration of the presentation, please feel free to unmute, drop them in the chat. Let me know, I'm here to answer them. So the social change model of leadership development is based on 7 dimensions or values called the 7 C's: consciousness of self, congruence, commitment, common purpose, controversy with civility, collaboration, and citizenship are the 7 C's. But then we also have change, which is the 8th C in the model. All 7 values work together to accomplish the transcendent C of change, as I just mentioned, and each dimension interacts with one another as shown on this next slide. So the individual dimensions include consciousness of self, congruence, and commitment. The group dimensions consist of common purpose, collaboration, and controversy with civility. And finally, the societal and community dimensions, that is citizenship. All of the values contribute to the ultimate goal of change. So I'm going to break down each of these different values and kind of give you a definition for all of them. And then we're going to go into the values portion of this model. So consciousness of self, when we say consciousness of self, it is the awareness of beliefs, values, and attitudes and emotion that motivate you to take action. So this involves you being very self-aware. So potentially doing something like a values assessment or something like the True Colors assessment to learn more about yourself and what drives you and motivates you to do what you do. Finding your why and being aware of who you are as a person and why you operate in the spaces that you do. So that is consciousness of self. Congruence is thinking and feeling with consistency, genuineness, and authenticity. So the values that you state that you have, also living those out in your everyday life. So if you say that honesty is one of your values, having your actions align with that value is how you practice congruence. It also means that you are consciousness, or it also deals with consciousness of self because it requires that self-reflection and knowing those values and what you hold deep within yourself that is required for you to act with congruence as well. Commitment, the energy that motivates you to serve. So sorry about that. So this is what motivates you to serve and drives your effort. So if you are committed, chances are that you're passionate about whatever you're working on and that you're going to be there for a long time. So that has to do with the duration there. Collaboration, working with others in a common effort. So this is like the cornerstone value of group leadership because it empowers others around us through trust. So working together as a team, getting to know each other's values, getting to know why those folks are in the space doing what they're doing, that can help you have a common purpose, a common goal, and work together well in a collaborative environment. This also ties into common purpose. So if you're working with shared aims and values, chances are you're going to work very well together. This facilitates the group's ability to engage in collective analysis of issues and how you plan to take those issues on. So if you are all passionate about one purpose in your group, maybe that will spark you to take action and address a need or a shortcoming in your community. Controversy with civility recognizes two fundamental realities, that differences in viewpoints are inevitable and that such differences must be aired out openly, but with civility. So when we do disagree with folks that we're either leading with or folks that we are leading, it says that we should be able to air those differences out, talk about them, work through them, but in a way that is respectful of others, and you're not, saying that others are wrong. But yeah, this requires trust among the group members. So knowing each other, knowing each other's core values. I know I keep saying values a lot, but it's really important to leadership is knowing, what's important to you, because that does reflect on how you act and how you treat others as well. And finally, citizenship, the process whereby individuals and the collaborative group become responsibly connected to the community and the society. So this could be working together for positive social change, taking on a project in your community, addressing a need, and it should happen. You should try to enact citizenship at every level of the model. So change is the last, or the 8th C, and this is the hub that gives meaning to all the other C's. So the aim of this is to make the world a better place and a better society for yourself, but most importantly for others. So learning what others need, what they're looking for, and trying to address whatever it is that community needs. So I have a video on values, and I know I talked about values a lot, so I want to explain, what values are a little bit more in depth and why they're so important to leadership and group cohesion.
One of the most important areas of a leader's understanding of themselves is the role of the unconscious drivers and blockers within themselves. And one area of the unconscious that we've explored extensively in leadership research is the issue of values. And we've discovered a few things. Firstly, that every leader has their own personal set of values, and they come into every action, decision, and behavior we do as leaders. Secondly, we discovered that values sit in a hierarchy, and understanding the hierarchy of our values helps us become more deeply aware of what's likely to drive us to do things. The third is that if you articulate values, we can see where we're likely to have values that are compatible and sometimes values that might be working against one another. So values exploration, values articulation, and values awareness is a major piece of our leadership development research. It's also incorporated in many of our most senior leadership programs so as that people can explore this for themselves.
All right, so I hope that short video was able to provide some clarity as to what values are and why they're important. But values are the underlying beliefs that guide our decisions and actions and ultimately shape our days and our careers. They also shape who we are as leaders and how we interact with other leaders and those who we are leading. So leadership values are a subset of those values that positively influence one's ability to lead effectively and be a, quote, good leader. You can foster and develop leadership values with time. However, as with many character traits, you will probably have a tendency towards one specific leadership skill or another. So your core values usually stay true to you, but there are things that can change as you grow, as you learn more, as you meet new people, as you're enlightened to more things that are happening in the world around you, as you gather different perspectives. So your core values, there are some things, like honesty, that would probably, if that's one of your core values, that might stay the same throughout your leadership and your career journey. If you're an honest person and you hold honesty close to your core, chances are when you go into a career, or you move up in your career, or advancing your leadership journey, you're not going to start being dishonest to keep advancing or to start advancing. So things like that will stay true to you as you advance, but also your core values can and will change very much. So I'm going to share with you now a values-based assessment and give you some time to fill this out. So I'm going to drop the link for this in the chat. You can go ahead and make a copy of this and then just follow the directions on the sheet. So the first part of the values exercise is to write down, highlight, circle, whatever works for you, all of the values on this list that work for you. If you need to Google them, get a different perspective, different meaning, you can go ahead and research those. But the second step is to then group them into different groupings. So the max grouping is 5. If you need more, or you can group your values into less groups, that's totally fine. But lump those all together in what makes sense to you. This is individual to you and what you hold close to yourself. Once those groupings are together, pick one word from each of those groups that represents the entire group. So if you have, there's some examples here, and I apologize, this is a little bit jumbled up, but if you have a bunch of values that go together, and let's just say that freedom is the one that really represents the rest in the group, you can take that word. So we'll end up after step 3 with 5 core values. And then we're going to add verbs to each value. So making them actionable. How can we take these values and put them into practice in our leadership and career journeys? So there's some examples here. And then finally, we're just going to reiterate those and write down our 5 core values. If you have less than 5, that's totally fine. I'm not here to dictate how many values you should have or anything like that, but this is just a good guide for you to start thinking about what's close to you and why you do the things that you do. So I'm going to copy this link, make sure that you are able to edit. There we go. All right, so you can just, as I mentioned previously, you can make a copy of this, and I will give you until, let's see, 1:40. So you've got about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out this assessment. And if you have any questions, I will be here. You can unmute, ask whatever you need to, but good luck on this.
Hi. So far I have some lists. I got here. Okay, so I had kindness, joy, knowledge, well-being, wisdom, love, loyalty, and trustworthiness.
Very
So
nice.
I think those are very important values to have.
Yeah, definitely.
I know the love's probably more for like personal than work, but I think loyalty is important even like in the workplace, because you don't want somebody that would betray, like, like in the company, like that they're a traitor, like they betray you just because they got bribed by some other company.
Yeah, definitely. And even having your personal values, you said that love is maybe more of a personal value, but even listing that and speaking that out helps folks know more about you and who you are and what's important to you. So even though that may be a personal value to you, it's still very valid to list that when you're identifying your leadership and career values as well.
Yeah, and I also think trustworthy is important too, because I know, like, for example, my brother worked at Chipotle, and when he started working, the person over there was all about fresh food, like for fresh food, like from the farmers. And so it was like good food. Not that it's become bad. I don't know if it's necessarily unhealthy yet, but I heard that another person like bought the company and they were and they didn't care about that. They were more like for profit.
Hmm. So yeah, did that create like a lack of trust within the company? Like the employees, trusted that the company cared about.
But like for me, when sometimes I hear like a lot of restaurants, they serve like the food day old and like, and so I don't really like, I don't even like going to restaurants anymore. I'd rather, even though it's more work, I'd rather cook my own meals just because I don't trust the people that cook the food. Like I don't know. Sometimes you don't know what they do. Like I remember one person said they did that a customer was rude to them. So they did something really disgusting in their coffee. And so you can't really trust the people that serve you. So it's better just to cook your own food because you know you're not going to do anything gross to your own self.
Yeah, you know the ingredients, you put your own time and effort into it.
Like I heard McDonald's had put ammonia in like their bread and that they've had like worms in their meat.
Oh geez, that's not good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like that's why I don't really eat there anymore, because I don't like, it made me not trust them. Like it's not trustworthy. Like you can't trust them. Like it just
Yeah.
seems so dishonest to do that.
Definitely. And we want to be able to trust where our food's coming from, because that's, fuel for our bodies and keeps us going. So yeah, definitely want to be able to trust any companies that, we're entrusting our money in to give us either a service or a good. So yeah, definitely trustworthiness as well. Now I heard you list a handful of values. Were you able to group those and select some representative, labels for your groups? Or are you going to stick with even just the handful that you have? You don't have to break those down or, label them in any way. But were you able to add actionable words or verbs to your values?
I wonder what kind of verb I could have, because I put kindness, joy, knowledge. So it sounds like just being wisdom, intelligence, and kindness, like being a good person.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good way to describe that. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that, you don't have to use the actual name of your value. I know that it says right here that you should include a verb to your values, but if, just being a good person is what encapsulates your values, this is all, like I said at the beginning, very personal to you. So if that captures everything, that's a good way to, bring all your values together. I can, this is shared with you. So now that you have a copy of this, you can continue to, look at the list and look a little bit more into the core values that are listed here, see if anything resonates with you. This is also a good activity to revisit as you advance in your leadership and career journey, just to, remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing and what you hold core to yourself. But also, if you're comfortable sharing out your values with folks, it really helps them, operate in a shared space with you, respect, who you are and what is important to you. So like you said at the beginning, love is maybe more of a personal value, but even in the workplace, knowing that that's important to you might help with the life work balance, or respecting when you need to take time off to, spend time with loved ones, or do things that you love. So yeah, just wanted to validate that as well. Do you have any questions before we move on from the values activity and start to wrap up the session?
Yeah. So I was wondering I'll do the assessment.
Oh yes, the values-based activity is what the assessment is.
Oh, okay. So I am trying to break them down like one word. Because I was wondering, what do all these qualities represent? Because they're all different things. Like joy is just about being happy. Like you can have depression but still have love in your heart.
Right.
And you can be hateful but still have knowledge. And you can and so like they're not all together. Like I think the knowledge and wisdom go together, and maybe the kindness and love go together.
Yeah, I would
And
say that
loyalty and
those,
trustworthy.
yeah, those are grouped well together. And
Oh,
again,
wait,
it's,
I can use, you said group one word, group two word. Actually, I guess
What-
I just have one word though, because I'm only have one group, huh? So it's just me.
yeah, I mean, whatever makes the most sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to group your values together, you can just kind of explore them individually on their own and not try to lump them with anything that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so I would say for kindness and love, I would combine it with like sweet.
Yeah, that's a good word to
And
summarize
then
those.
knowledge and wisdom would be intelligence.
Sure, yes, definitely.
Intelligence. And let's see here. Joy, I will just put happy. That one will just have its own. And then loyalty, trustworthy, honesty.
Hmm.
Well-being, self-care. All right, I did all 5.
Awesome. And you can continue this, on your own after the session has concluded. And like I said, you can keep revisiting this as you advance in both your leadership development and career preparedness journey. So I do have a few minutes left. I have some wrap up announcements because this is actually the end of the virtual conference. So I'm going to finish up with some reflection questions. So these are just to guide your thoughts as you continue, as you think about your goals, as you talk, or not your goals, your values, as you talk to other folks about your values. What values guide your personal life? What values guide you in your career and in your leadership roles? How do you react in common situations? Is that also impacted by your values? Is that guided by your values? What kind of leaders do you gravitate to? So do you gravitate to leaders with a more strategic foresight? Do you gravitate towards more supportive and caring leaders who are more outspoken about their support for you? Just keep these things in mind as you continue on in your journey here and beyond SJSU. This is just a final closing quote. It really just is supposed to encapsulate the fact that values really are very, very important, and they really do guide a lot of how we live our lives. So how we interact with others, how we treat others, what lines of work we go into, what types of projects we take on both personally and professionally. So If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them, but I did just want to preview with you the Leadership and Career Certificate Program. The LCCP is a semester-long program that's happening in the spring. It is online, free for all students from first year to graduate students. It is self-paced, so we do have some rough deadlines for folks to submit things on, just so they're staying on track to complete all 5 of the modules. But there's no hard deadlines because there is no grade. It's not a credit-bearing course, but it is facilitated both by student involvement, leadership development, and the Career Center. And folks who do actually complete all of the requirements for the Leadership and Career Certificate Program are invited to be recognized at our Leadership Gala in May. So that's a nice formal event where you'll get a certificate, and depending on the number of participants we have, we might call you all up on stage for a group photo and some recognition there. But information and the application will be on our website, both the Career Center website and the Student Involvement website. And then we would love to hear your feedback about the Leadership and Career Conference. If you could give us a moment just to provide that feedback, that would be greatly appreciated. To incentivize you to actually go in and fill out this feedback, we will give you an extra entry into the $300 Macy's gift card raffle. So if you fill this survey out, I believe by Tuesday, it might be Monday, the information is on the webinar slides, so I can get back to you on that. If you fill that out by Tuesday, October 25th, you will receive an extra entry. So just by being here with us today at the Leadership and Career Conference, you'll receive 1 entry. And when we receive your feedback, you'll have another entry for that $300 shopping experience. So I believe that is it from me. Thank you so much for being at this presentation today, Brenda. I really appreciate you engaging with me and participating in the values-based activity. If you have any questions about values or about leadership or our leadership development programs out of student involvement, please let me know. I will drop my email in the chat right now. You can always reach me there. And also the student involvement office is in the Student Union right across from Jamba Juice. If you're familiar with where the block is in El Centro, we're right in that shared space with them. So you can always stop by and connect with me, ask your questions, whatever you need. I'm here to support you in your leadership and your career journey.
Thank you for sending me your email. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And I am interested in that certificate program.
Yeah, if you want to just send me an email and just let me know that you are interested, I'll make sure that once we open the Google form, it's not like an application or anything. It's just you give us your information and we add you to the course. So if you just want to send me an interest email, I'll make sure that you get that Google form as soon as we open it.
Here, I just sent you a text saying hello, so you already have my email.
I will respond to that just to let you know that I got it. But this actually concludes the Leadership and Career Conference. I just got your hello message. Thank you very much for that. This actually concludes the Leadership and Career Conference, the 5th annual Leadership and Career Conference for fall of 2022. I appreciate you again for participating and attending this breakout session. And again, if you could please take the time to fill out our feedback survey. It will be sent to you via email. I can also let's see. Would it work for you just to take this QR code? Take a screenshot of the QR code. I'm also going to drop the link for the survey in the chat. All right, and there is the link for the survey. If you have time, like I said, you get an extra entry to that Macy's shopping experience with the Career Center.
Oh, thank you. I actually started. I actually got the link.
Perfect. Well, Again, I appreciate you being here, and that concludes our conference. So if you have any questions, now you have my email, and I'm always available if you have any questions or just need any guidance or support.